Good.
Good stuff.
Right. You brought so great games tonight, and um, I don't know, should I even bring a game at this point or just forget about it?
We just go to the news.
Yeah. No. I have a good game, but well, the scope of the game I'm gonna talk about it's very limited. I just thought it was a fun game, and well, the short story is that I've been trying to play many MSX games in the last few weeks, and I've also tried to look into past MSX dev competitions. There's many good games, and I could easily recommend, for example, if you like point and click adventures, there's a game called Sales Discontinued. It's a very nice looking point and click adventure for the MSX, and it is also possibly the largest game ever made for the MSX. Then there's the winner of last year competition that is called that's quite a complicated name. I think it's called Snake and Rhino in the Sketchbook.
Okay.
And I'm just mentioning this, but I'm not going to talk about this. But
why you mention it? You don't do this usually.
No, but I want to mention because I'm not sure that I'll ever have time to cover all these games in upcoming episodes. New games are coming up at such a fast pace now. So there are games I played in the last few weeks, and I think they were all good, but I'm going to talk in details only about one, because otherwise we'll never end this episode. Anyway, Snake and Rhino in the Sketchbook is another puzzle-like games that looks isometric, but it has crazy geometry elements like Escher or Esker, whatever is the real pronunciation.
Hang on a minute. You can't just do that and then just leave it there.
I'll leave it there.
No, Sales Discontinued. It looks like The Simpsons. How is that running on an MSX?
It is, but it's also very memory consuming. I think you need to have a large RAM, like half a megabyte of RAM, which is quite a lot for an MSX platform. And you probably also need to have one of those audio chips and a mouse, for example, to play the point and click.
But it looks better than the Amiga. How can
it does. Well, as I said, this is quite a large game for an MSX and one of the best looking I've ever seen. So I was able to try it only on an emulator because of the hardware requirements, but I didn't want to talk too much about this game right now, but maybe if you want, I can cover it more. I need to also progress more to be able to really review this game.
I'm just really struck by it, so I've just then I read MSX. I was like, what? Yeah, okay. But also colors. It's got like loads of colors as well. It's just like, what? Anyways, I'll just leave it there. Then if you have plans for the future, so I'll leave it for you. Sorry about that.
Yeah. I'm just going to say that.
And that snake and the rhino in the sketchbook also looks really nice. Like it's a sketchbook.
Yeah,
I've seen that one before. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole background is like a sketchbook or notebook. Right, but while I was trying out all these games, I was hooked on the most unlikely game I thought that would hook me, so I decided to talk about that one. I think that it actually made it pretty high in the tournament. It's from MSX Dev 22, so it's already almost 2 years old, and it made it to the third place. And the game is called Diced Tournament. Okay. And it's made by a couple of people called Miki and Def Danny.
Def is like can't hear.
Def, no, like DEF. Def.
Def, like Def Leppard, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this is a game that doesn't need much hardware. It's very small. I think it works on a MSX generation 1, and it needs like 80 kilobit of RAMs or something like that.
Whoa.
So it could almost run on a VIC-20 perhaps without additional RAM, or just a little more. I think the VIC-20 base version has 5. This needs 8 kilobit. But okay, but overall, this is basically just a Yahtzee game. Have you ever heard about that game? It was,
Of course.
it's
Yeah,
a
I played it
dice
when-
game that was
yeah.
popular in the 70s and the 80s.
Sort of poker.
Yeah,
With dice.
it has some similarities with poker with dice, but maybe I can summarize shortly for those who don't know about Yahtzee, and then
Yes, please
because
do.
you need to know it to play the game. But as a matter of fact, if you don't know it and you follow the tutorial, this game has a very nice tutorial, and it's going
Wow.
to teach you how to play. So don't worry too much. And I'm not going to explain all the rules because there's too many of them. But let's say that Yahtzee is primarily a game of chance based on rolling dice, but it has strategic elements based on math and maybe probability. So if you want to be good at this game, you better have some small capabilities at calculating. Let's
So
say
not for me already. That basically.
it's
is what
not
you're
like
saying.
you have to solve differential equations. You have to add numbers, basically, but you have to also think strategically. Sometimes, do you want to take a chance at something more worthy of points but less probable, or do you want to play safe and go with a easier score but not that big? Something like that.
Mm.
But anyway, so how does a game of Yahtzee and therefore also a game of dice tournament play out? So you play against other opponents. In this case, it's the computer anyway. You have a number of rounds. In each round, you are going to roll 5 dice. And each time you roll these 5 dice, you have a chance at re-rolling some of the dice that you don't like and try to get a better result. And you actually have 2 chances. So this is similar to poker, because
I was going to say, yeah.
in poker you can discard a certain number of cards and replace them, but you only have 1 chance. Here you have 2 chances. And also, I'll tell you in a minute that similarly to poker, your target is to score a certain combination with these 5 dice. That's probably where the similarities between Yahtzee and poker ends, because you don't have bluffing, you don't have to bet and raise money. Very simply, at the end of 1 round, you're gonna have to record some score, and then at the end of all the rounds, which I think are 13 altogether, you count the points, and whoever player has the highest points wins the match. So no betting or bluffing mechanics like poker.
It's a
more
really easy game.
straightforward.
I play this with my 6-year-old, so
Okay.
this
Yeah,
is,
it's easy
and
to
he
play.
even managed to win sometimes. So
It's easy to play, but also if you play with people who are into those little tactical decisions, it's a lot of fun, because then everyone is really good at maximizing their chances. I think it has some depth to it, that even though it's very simple and you only really need 5 regular dice to play this game, and some pen and paper, but nothing else. So I remember that when I was a child, it was sold in game stores. It was a very small box, but if you had enough dice at home, you could play it already. You just need
you
to
get
know
the
the
score
rules.
card.
Yeah.
You have to make your score card your own, but normally when you buy it, you get just 5 dice and a score card. That's it.
Yeah,
And maybe
really,
something
really
to
simple.
put into the dice,
Yeah, that was-
to throw it. something like that, like a basket or like a sort of glass, sort of.
So to give you an idea on how the tactics work, is that you basically have a table with 13 goals, 1 goal per round. So ideally, in each round, you would match your result with one of the goals, mark it done, and record the score. But as the game progresses, as the rounds pass, well, you have already marked some goals done. You cannot do them again. So the number of remaining goals gets smaller and smaller. And it is, of course, more and more risky that you will not meet all these goals. And if at some point the result of your dice do not match any of the remaining goals, you have to botch one of the goals. You have to mark it done but get 0 points in that.
For example, the 5 of a kind, which is the highest thing you can get, which is called the Yahtzee in Yahtzee, then that almost always gets crossed off because you almost never get that.
It is the hardest, the one with the least probability to get 5 of a kind.
But it gets also very risky to go for that later on. If you already got all other goals done, then it's really hard to not cross that off. Because you have, like poker, you have the full house and 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, streets.
Yes, you can score, like one of the goals is, for example, a full straight, 1 to 5 or 2 to 6, and then there is a lesser straight, 4 in a row, and the 5th dice. It can be whatever. So I'm not gonna tell all the 13 of them, but some of these look similar to the poker scores, like 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, full house, meaning 3 of a kind plus 2 of a kind.
But this game is very, very luck based also. And because when you throw the dice, it's always really random, 1 to 6. And the problem with dice games on computers for me is always that I feel the computer cheats with me because it's not real dice. It's just something the computer decides for me. So how did that feel for you in this game?
No, I think it's really fair. It seemed to be fair to me. Well, I can only trust the programmer that they are not cheating on me. But
because also the AI can easily be cheating. You don't know what's behind the code.
You have to trust them, reader. You have to trust them.
Yeah, I trusted the programmers when they...
Diego and myself used to play the poker games, right? And we thought they cheated, but we won them all anyways. So,
And does the AI do some good decisions when you play them? Or
I thought it was a bit too easy, to be honest. So, well, it's hard to keep track, but the real thing is that when you play this game, you should not only look at your score. You should, of course, also look at how the other players are doing. And the scores are visible to anyone as you play. So at the end of each round, you choose what to mark. You choose what combination to mark off the list. And you also see what the other players are marking off the list. So you can see if they're doing good or bad. But now I wasn't really able to pay attention if they made some blatant mistake, like marking something wrong like that. Because it all happens at the same time. They are playing at the same time as you. You see them rolling the dice as you are rolling the dice.
Oh, that's interesting.
You can just wait and see what they do and look carefully. But to be honest, I was more concerned with making my best chances. But the truth is that if you play this game seriously, you also take more chances if you see that you are losing, for example. So if you see that the other players are doing really well, then maybe you won't mark that 5 of a kind off, like failed too early, because it is less probable. But if you're doing bad, you might as well give up something that is less worthy of points
Hmm.
because you already know it won't be enough to win. You want to go for the highest prize, even if it's more unlikely, but that's your only chance at winning. So if you're good with math, you are making all these calculations. If you're not, well, you can just check at the end. Did I win? Did I lose? That's okay. Not a big deal.
So
That's
what,
me. That's
what
me.
can you win in this game? Can
Yeah,
you
all right.
win
So
something?
now let's move past the basic Yahtzee rules and let's see what this game has to offer, because it is all the extras that I really liked. All right. So first of all, let's spend a couple of words on the setting, because one nice thing is that this game is set in the Wild West. So it shows that you are playing Yahtzee in a saloon against some shady characters. There's a nice ragtime music played in the background by the pianist. Of course, every saloon must have a pianist. There's a bartender selling drinks, and there's a merchant or storekeeper selling something else. And the game works in tournaments, so you can choose between different tournaments, each one with slightly different rules. For instance, one tournament might have 3 rounds. Each round it's you and one opponent. Another tournament might have maybe only 2 rounds, but you have 2 opponents. So you have to beat 2 of them at once at the same table. More difficult. And then you can, at the first I think you only have 2 tournaments, but as you play you can unlock more tournaments. So maybe with even different rules, like you have 2 opponents and the worst player is out, and then you have to play again with the remaining opponent. I think the game has more than 100 of possible characters that are your opponents.
Wow.
Although, well, there are different portraits, but they also get reused with different colors. They have slightly different names. I am not really sure if the different opponents have different skills. I'm not sure. It's possible that some are better than others, but as I said, I didn't pay too much attention on what they were doing because I was really focused on my own scores all the time. But it would be nice to investigate that also a little bit. Okay, so you ask, what do you win if you win a tournament? Well, in fact, there's a couple of things you win. First of all, and that's where the fun part starts, you win some money by winning the tournaments.
Okay.
And you can spend the money. So the cheapest thing you can buy is actually more songs for the piano player to play.
Oh God, it's like Uncle Albert.
Yeah, you want this. Trust me, you don't want to hear the same one song all the game, even if it's nice. But
do you hear it during the game as well? During the
yeah, it's like
gambling?
background music all the time. Yes.
Okay.
So you can buy more tunes, and you can also even you can make a sort of playlist of the tunes that you want to hear in order, or just let the piano player choose for you.
Okay.
Then, the store clerk or merchant, he actually sells you some math aids. So
Drugs to get over
it to help you a little bit with math. There's not that many, but for example, you see all your current scores in each one of these goals that you are marking down, but you don't see your current total. So if you want to know your current total, you can buy one aid or tool from the storekeeper, and then your current total will be shown at all times. And then you can buy another tool that shows the opponent's total. And there's also some part of the mechanics of the game. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but basically there's a group of goals that have a general target that you have to meet all together to get a certain bonus score in addition to those goals. So there's an aid that show your current level against earning this bonus. So it helps you, even though that's not the most difficult part to keep track of, basically. So you can buy those, and best of all, you can buy drinks from the bartender. And the drinks...
What does that do?
Yeah, the drinks are actually cheats. They are one-time cheats. Each drink gets a fancy name and a description, like there is the Superflow Spritzer and the Ancillary Aqua, very strange names like that. And an in-game description or narrative description that might say, well, if you actually offer these drinks to the other players, they get a bit dizzy and they don't notice if you change one of your dice with your hand. And the truth is
Nice.
that you buy this drink and then you can activate it at any point in the game. And when you activate it, well, it's used, then you have to buy it again if you want to do it again. You basically flip one dice to another side and change the result.
Can you just choose the result, or is it random?
You actually get a few seconds where you change it randomly as often as you want. So if you're quick, but also very, very capable of stopping, when you get the one you want, you can just click on it many times. You get a couple of seconds, and then it stops. So you can't choose; it's random. But if you are fast, you can flip it many times.
Nice.
And there are others, like you can make everybody else turn stop before they actually get to re-roll. So screwing them up a little bit, so to speak. Or you can get to re-roll everything from the beginning, or you can get an extra fourth chance at replacing some of the dice. So they are all cheating the rules in a sense.
That's fun.
And I really like how they made this part of the game with the names and the description that you make everybody look the other way, or everybody feels a little bit lightheaded with this drink and they don't notice you've already played, so you get to play the round again, something like that.
That's really cool.
It's really fun that they made a pretty dull game interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Well, I didn't find it dull because I literally played this game for years with my friends when I was in my 20s.
Course, but that's different. It's different in real life than against CPU is maybe, it's
exactly. I was very surprised. I tried this game thinking, well, I'll just look at it a couple of minutes and then move to the next. And it kept me there the whole evening because of these features. And there's another complication, because you don't only earn money, but you also earn experience points by playing the tournaments.
Wow.
And then every now and then this means your rank or reputation goes up. And all these things you can buy, they are gated behind a certain minimum reputation rank. So the bartender is not gonna sell you the drinks until you have a certain rank, and it's not rank 1. I don't think there is any of this cheating drink that you can buy at rank 1. Each drink has its own minimum rank required in addition to spending money. So you need to play a few tournaments before you can really buy the cheats.
And do you lose reputation when you lose a game?
No, I don't think so. I think it can only get better.
Okay.
Yeah. So I really like this game because of this small but quite unexpected complications and additions to it. And again, it's a homebrew made for a competition, but I think it's pretty well made. The graphic style it's maybe not the best looking game, but it fits, and some details are very well done, like even just a small picture of the dice rolling from the cup, where it's actually a big button on the screen that you click when you want to roll the dice, and then the result appears below, and then this whole humoristic tone in the whole game.
It looks a bit like a DOS game to me. It has that EGA vibes. It looks like the DOS, like the old Monkey Island, maybe the first Monkey Island.
Yeah, a little bit,
like that.
Yeah, I think it could be better graphically, but it's not bad at all. And as I said, it's a nice setting, the Wild West, nice humor. You can't not notice that piano player has a sign on top of the piano that says $3 for one tune, $10 for 3 tunes.
I saw that too.
Yeah,
that's good.
So little things, but
for what it is, they got a lot out of Yahtzee.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you always play like the Chinese guy?
Sorry.
So there is. I mean, well, I'm looking at some videos, but there's like a Chinese sort of guy. Is that who you are?
I don't know. Wait a minute. I have to check what you're talking about.
Can you choose the character? And did
wait.
You say so? Okay, I'll wait.
Let me see what. I didn't notice any. No, you don't choose anything. I'm sure, but I'm gonna have to check. What do you mean, the Chinese guy? You mean the character in the title screen?
Or maybe it's because this is the. I'll show you. So
I'm playing it now.
Off the record now, because I wanna know what you're talking about. But
yeah, so. Where is the chat here?
Give me a second. These videos have always this garbage ads.
So if you go here in this video,
I don't think you see. I just started the game. You don't see your own character.
Okay, so
yeah,
maybe
I didn't remember
maybe
any character
it
choice.
is the what's it called? The tutorial maybe.
Maybe.
So if you go at the video I given you at 3:03, about to be fair, probably even before that, in fact, 2 minutes in, there's a Chinese guy that's talking to you. You should do this, you should do that. Is that the tutorial?
Well, I don't know why you think it's Chinese. It looks like the hair, at least, it's maybe Asian inspired, but
also
now I see what you mean, Chinese
the
character.
Eyebrows is also towards the top, and he's bold, so kind of a bit stereotypical,
so,
I guess.
When do we restart now there?
It's all right. Just go for it.
Just go for it. So you ask if I am the Chinese guy. Okay, now I'm answer from here.
From here.
So you don't see your own character. You are your own character, and what I think you call the Chinese guy is actually your tutor that in the tutorial part of the game tells you all about the rules and how to play them through this game.
I see.
Yeah, but you don't get to choose different characters with different skills, so to speak, because the skill is all yours as a player.
I guess I had that impression also because of the title screen. You get 3 characters on it, so I thought, maybe you can choose those, or maybe those are your opponents.
No. Yeah, you don't get to choose any special characters or difference.
Okay.
Oh, looks more fun than I expected when I saw the screenshot. I thought, okay, well, it's just Yahtzee, but sounds more fun than expected. So yeah, good choice,
right.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
it's free and you can play it online. I see, so you can also play it in the browser. So go check it out.
I have to say that the MSX platform never ceases to surprise me anyway, and I will surely talk more about other games, maybe the one I've mentioned before, but I still have many to play, so don't know what I will pick next.
It's interesting that it got so many homebrew But MSX. Who did have an MSX? It's maybe more like in the East, in Asia. I don't know.
Oh no, there was lots of them in Europe as well. Like I remember my friend, I don't know if you remember him, Alessio. He used to have two MSX. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know. It's bizarre, but it is one of these computers. So I like how Diego is slowly migrating from the C64 to the Atari to the MSX, going the full microcomputer shebang. Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm a fan of all microcomputers. I've always been a microcomputer guy,
You should
more
make
than a
game.
console guy. That's another matter.
Let's move on to games and
To news.
again. Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, games again. Oh no, news.